Welcome to EdMask, the channel for education, learning, and enrollment. I welcome you all to this channel, and today I want to talk about what I would call the iceberg that will sink your project. I remember previously I've been talking about how to start an NGO. I've talked about how to have a good project, and today I want to talk about the iceberg that will sink your project. We all know a project would be the Titanic. As I've told you, today I'm talking about the iceberg that will sink your project. The things that will sink your project, making you not able to achieve your vision or goals. Many projects seem to be solid at the onset, beyond the optimism that naturally comes with the new things. But there are old obstacles that can quickly turn a project into disaster. While there are so many things or fires that comes with the projects, we also need to look at the potential to fight these challenges as they come. So in other words, we need to be aware of them and make good preparation in advance so that they don't affect our projects. One of the things that we need to look at is unclear goals. The unclear goals in a project setting will confuse and frustrate the project. So in other words, having projects without clear goals will just confuse you and frustrate the people. It's like asking them to shoot an arrow blindfolded. You just imagine if someone told you, close your eyes, and then tells you, shoot something with something, you will not be able to know where it is exactly. This is how the project could be if you don't have clear goals. And if you don't know what you intend to have as your destination, how will you be able to know where to arrive and when to arrive? So that one distracts and frustrates your project. Therefore, a good project goal should be short, should be simple, and it should be able to fit the time duration that is planned for. Secondly, you're going to look at insufficient details. Insufficient plans are often, and projects don't provide sufficient details to ensure success. Not only can this confuse the team members, but this can also lead to inaccurate and cost estimates. In other words, the solution to this is to break down each segment of the project into more detailed tasks and subtasks for all members to understand the project and be able to implement it as it is planned. These tasks can be completed in more than a day. It could be a day or two in most cases. For larger, more complex projects, they should take no longer than 5 working days so that projects can be finished in the planned time as quick as possible. And that one puts the project at an upper end. Then number 3 is scope creep. Every project suffers more degrees of change in the scope and keeps on varying project by project. It's inevitable because unforeseen issues will arise that demand some change. The key is not to let them dwell the entire project. Therefore, when you're implementing a project, you realize that a good manager must carefully consider requests for change in the scope. And if the scope of the project is expanded, the manager should make sure the budget and deadlines are extended accordingly. Otherwise, the project and team members will become too strained to accomplish everything in time. Number 4 is wrong people, wrong jobs. Make sure the right people are working on the project. They need to have experience, skills, and knowledge that is needed to complete the tasks assigned to them. A careful, honest evaluation should be done by the project manager. That is prior to the start of the job. Sometimes some training or monitoring can fill the gap. The other time it may be necessary to outsource some of the work involved. And number 5 for my iceberg is accountability. It's crucial that each person on the team is clear of his or her role and is accountable to the completion of the project. A lack of accountability can lead to total project breakdown. So virtually where there is a task dependence, a project chart clearly shows assignments. It can help tremendously in the project implementation. Not only that, each team member sees and understands his or her roles or area of the responsibility, but the assignment of all team members are complete and transparent. Then number 6 is consistent processes. Having consistent templates, tools, and procedures make the project easier to the manager and run more efficiently. While each project may change in size, it may change in scope, and team members, the process is often the same, very similar. So what one needs to do is diagram the workflow using the flowchart. You can as well create it from the perspective of the job, not the individual doing the work. The way new team members or outsourced contractors can quickly understand their roles and how it fits into the overall project. Then number 7 for me is communication. Managers need to keep the lines of communication open with the team members, but also at all times. This needs to be a two-way street. Set this up as part of the project process so that there is regular communication. Knowing about the possible delays of issues can lead you to avoid more serious problems down the road. Number 8 is unrealistic deadlines. Sometimes a short deadline for a high-profile client with an important project can get a team focused and energized. But successful project managers know that setting unrealistic deadlines on an ongoing basis is receipt for disaster. It will kill the morale and lead to late deliveries, making for unhappy customers. Number 9, risk management. Sometimes a project is planned out of details. Everything is on board and the things are running smoothly. Then an unforeseen occurrence happens and the project skid off the race. Why? Failure to manage for the rest. A good project manager must only plan but also prepare for contingencies. Constantly ask, what if? You need to ask yourself what if questions, both of yourself and your team members. And lastly, for number 10, stakeholder apathy. Often this is a byproduct of the projects that don't mesh with the organization's strategic plan. Those that do are more likely to receive management support for resources and budget requests. It's also critical for the project manager to communicate clearly and consistently with all stakeholders, team members, vendors, contractors, management, and all the clients throughout the life of the project. We need to encourage feedback as well as keep all the parties engaged in the process to lead to less stress and more positive project experience. If you love this video and my other educational videos, subscribe, like, and share. This is your channel, Edmask. Bye.